Okay, third grade. Today we're going to be learning a new skill in language arts and it's called ask and answer questions. We have one goal for the day. I can ask and answer questions while reading. So you might ask yourself, why are we doing this? It sounds pretty silly. Well, strong readers ask questions all the time, okay? When do you do this? Well, you do this before, during, and after reading. It's like the BDA strategy for asking and answering questions instead of main idea this time, okay? Why would you ask and answer questions while reading? Well, you do it to clarify meaning, so maybe it helps you understand something that you are confused about. Maybe it helps you to make predictions about what you're reading about. Maybe it helps you to understand the main idea, and it could also help you to determine purpose of why an author might be writing a certain piece. How do we do this? How do we ask and answer questions? Well, we can list questions. We can choose most important question to answer. Or, which is what we're going to be kind of doing today, which is number 3, we can answer the question using proof from text or your own knowledge. Okay? So right now what I want you to do is I want you to open up to 152 in your theme reader. Press pause, and when you've opened up to page 152, press play again. Off you go. Okay, so you should be opened up to page 152 in your theme reader, okay? I am going to read page 152 and 153, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be asking some questions while I read. I might not answer these questions on this page, but I'm going to try to be an active reader, and I'm just going to kind of ask questions to myself about what I could be wondering about. So, chapter 3, geography in everyday life. Geography affects the things people do every day. People often choose their jobs based on where they live. Their surroundings even suggest ways of having fun. In this chapter, you'll read about such communities. So this gets me thinking. I wonder how the geography in Bellefonte, the land around which we live, affects what people do for jobs. And I'm just thinking, just even by our school, you see a lot of farms. So maybe farming is an important job around our area. I'm going to read the caption down here. This ranger works in a national park. She makes sure hikers and campers are safe. Okay, page 153, the power of water. What would you do if farms needed water and there was a river close by? In the 1930s, the government decided to build the Hoover Dam across the Colorado River between the states of Nevada and Arizona. Many people got jobs building the dam and keeping it in good order. That's how the town of Boulder City, Nevada formed. So this Hoover Dam is really important to these two places. Okay, so the Hoover Dam takes water from the river to use on farms and to produce electricity. Okay, next section is called an island community. In third grade, while I read page 154 and 155, I have a little question. Okay, it's called which question can be answered from the text. So after reading about island communities, which question can be answered from the text? Here are my questions. How many whales a day do the people hunt in Nantucket, Massachusetts? What was the weather like in Nantucket, Massachusetts? How many people visit Nantucket, Massachusetts? And why do tourists visit Nantucket, Massachusetts? Okay, so I have 4 questions here. As I'm reading, let's see if we can answer any of these. Okay, so page 154. Nantucket, Massachusetts was once very different from what it is today. This small island began as a whaling port. Whalers hunted sperm whales for their valuable oil. But by the mid-1800s, there were few whales because they had been overhunted. Many people began to use petroleum for fuel instead of whale oil. Nantucket's whaling industry soon came to an end. From 1800 to 1830, Nantucket was one of the greatest whaling centers in the world. However, people found other ways to make a living on this beautiful island. Today, tourists visit Nantucket to go fishing, boating, and swimming in the ocean. Many residents operate businesses that provide these activities for tourists. Okay, so again, let's go back to our question here. After reading about island communities, which question can be answered from the text? When I get a question like this, third grade, what I like to do is I like to go through each question, go back in the text, and I like to try to answer them. If I can't answer them, if I can't find the answer in the text, then I know that that question cannot be answered. But if I can answer it, if I can actually write an answer to it, then I know that I can actually answer that question from what I read about. So let's go to the first one. How many whales a day did the people hunt in Nantucket, Massachusetts? Well, they were talking about whales in this little paragraph here. Okay, so let's see if we can figure it out. Nantucket, Massachusetts was once very different from what it is today. This small island began as a whaling port. Whalers hunted sperm whales for their valuable oil. But by the mid-1800s, there were few whales because they had been overhunted. Many people began to use petroleum for fuel instead of whale oil. Third grade, I have no idea how many whales a day people hunted in Nantucket, so this question cannot be answered from the text. Let's look at number 2. What was the weather like in Nantucket, Massachusetts? Well, it says the island is beautiful, but it never said that what the weather was like. I have no idea if it's hot, if it's cold, if there's winter, if there's summer. I have no idea what the weather's like, so this question cannot be answered from the text. Number 3, how many people visit Nantucket, Massachusetts? Well, let me look at this paragraph here. However, people found other ways to make a living on this beautiful island. Today, tourists, which are people who visit Nantucket to go fishing, boating, and swimming in the ocean. Many residents operate businesses that provide these activities for tourists. Well, I know people visited there, and those people that visit are called tourists, but I don't know how many people visit there, so I cannot answer this. How about this last question? Why do tourists visit Nantucket, Massachusetts? Well, let's read this sentence again. Today, tourists visit Nantucket to go fishing, boating, and swimming in the ocean. Oh, so people go to Nantucket to go fishing, boating, and swimming. So let's see how I did. So I just have a friendly reminder up here. Take your time, go through each question. That's exactly what we did, okay? Why do tourists visit Nantucket, Massachusetts? Well, they visit to go fishing, boating, and swimming in the ocean. Okay, let's turn the page, and we're going to try another one, okay? We're going to do one more together on page 156, okay? So I'm going to read the heading up here. Black Gold Salt Fever. On January 10th, 1901, oil shot out of the Lucas No. 1 well in Spindletop near Beaumont, Texas. People heard about the oil and raced to Beaumont to join the search. The town grew. Today, Beaumont is the largest city in Jefferson County, Texas. Once oil started shooting out of the Lucas No. 1 well in Beaumont, Texas, it couldn't be stopped for 9 days. Which question can be answered from the text? So I need text evidence on page 156. Okay, let's look at the first question. Why did oil shoot out of the Lucas No. 1 well in Spindletop near Beaumont, Texas? Well, I know on January 10th, 1901, the oil shot out of the well. People heard about it, but it doesn't say why the oil shot out, so it doesn't look like anyone knows what caused this oil to come out. So I can't answer this question. Let's look at number 2. What did the people do with the oil that shot out of the well? People heard about the oil, town grew. Today's Beaumont's the largest city in Jefferson County. The caption doesn't tell me either. So I have no idea what the people did with this oil. I don't know if they just left it there, if they used it for cars. I have no idea. Let's look at number 3. How many people lived in Beaumont, Texas? Oh, maybe I can answer this one. The town grew. Today, Beaumont is the largest city in Jefferson County, Texas. I don't know. How many people lived in Beaumont, Texas? Well, I know it's the largest city in Jefferson County, but I don't know an exact number of how many people lived there. So I can't answer this, actually. Let's look at number 4. How long did the oil shoot out of the well? Well, the caption actually can answer this question for me. Once oil started shooting out of the Lucas No. 1 well in Beaumont, Texas, it couldn't be stopped for 9 days. So this question can be answered, okay? The oil shot out of the well for 9 days. So this would be my answer, okay? So third grade, what you're going to do now is you're going to read page 157 on your own. There's 2 questions that I want you to complete on your ticket to group. When you're done with that, turn that into a language arts bit. Then you can silently read and put away your Chromebook. And remember, third grade, when you read, it's important to always ask and answer questions while you're reading. Okay? Maybe you get a post-it note and you jot down questions and then you try to answer them. Okay? Maybe you have a test and it asks you specifically what question can be answered. And if that happens, just like what we did, go through each question until you can actually answer the one question. And when you can answer that question, you know you got the correct answer. Okay? All right, third grade, off you go.